I'm always delighted to come to Canada because I always am made to feel so welcome. Last fall, I guess it was, about a year and a half ago, when they started this Take a Child to Lunch, I was up in Vancouver, and I flew up from Los Angeles, and we arrived in Vancouver, and we now went through the customs shed. And there was a man standing over there, and I was here, and he said, "Hello, Mr. Kay. Welcome to Canada." And I said, "Thank you very much." And I got closer to him. He said, "We're certainly very happy to see you in Canada, Mr. Kay, and we're delighted you're here. Do you have any identification?"
UNICEF salutes Danny Kaye in Halifax.
Okay, and then I want you from the diaphragm into the mask. Take a deep breath.
October 5th, the Commonwealth Room of the Nova Scotian Hotel. A night to remember. Over 600 people gather for a gala banquet in support of UNICEF. They came to pay tribute to their special guest, Danny Kaye, and to help him celebrate his 30th year as Worldwide Ambassador of Goodwill for UNICEF. Danny Kaye. He's known for so many things: actor, comedian, orchestra conductor, humanitarian. But perhaps most of all, he's known as a friend of children. And it was with the children, in particular the young people of the Halifax School's Ukulele A's and the Solo Strings, that Danny Kaye the entertainer began to shine through.
What's that song we did before where we went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then which one was that? And that's where they accompany you? And how does it start? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then, okay, you want to do that? All right? And then we have to go home because I got to get up at 4:30 this morning. Nobody asked me why. You're a ukulele player and a fiddle player? Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey! 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 Wouldn't you know the premiere would be offbeat? John is on the offer. Now, don't do it until I give you the cue. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey! how come that some of the girls play without picks and some of them do not? Do you have a pick? Do you all use picks? Oh, for tremolo. But you use your finger otherwise, right? Okay, do you have long nails? No long nails. Okay.
Just before we play this last number, I just want to say what a pleasure it is to have this opportunity. We're now going to play Mittens Breakdown with the solo strings, Danny Kaye, and the A-Ukes.
She's 17. And she has one brother. March 16th is her birthday, and she's not going to get married till she's 18. And she's going to give me a kiss on my cheek right now. In Nova Scotia, that means you're engaged. I don't want you going out with any other boy. Tiger Red, one chorus of Tiger Red. All right? Now, yeah, I'm going to rehearse the audience, too. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we'll count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. guess you all go, One, two, three, four.
Danny talks about UNICEF after these messages.
Friends, you have done a remarkable thing. You really have, because all of the money that's being raised tonight will be going to children throughout the world who probably will not live if the contributions from all over the world didn't come in. And what that does, in my view, we can talk about armament races and about corporate structures and about democratic principles and about natural resources. And every country that has any natural resource at all, like rivers or mountains or streams or minerals or gold or coal, really the greatest natural resource any country can ever have are children. Because long after we are gone and long after we take our place in the long list of children before us, they will literally inherit all the earth that we have either planted or we have seeded for them. And the greatest natural link to world peace or to lack of hunger or lack of disease in the world would be through the children. It is very, very easy to understand, and what I wish I could do would be to take each one of you by the hand and travel with me for weeks or months at a time and see what is happening to children throughout the world. And you would quickly see that the greatest bond for world peace would be in the development of healthy young minds and bodies. Some years ago, I was in Thailand. And they were dealing with an illness, a disease called YAWS, Y-A-W-S. Now, it is not a life-threatening disease, but it's a life-debilitating disease. And it prevents young people from reaching any part of their potential at all. And there was a little boy called Sam. He had a long, complicated name, but we called him Sam, whose body was ridden with these sores. And we took some pictures of him, some television film, movie film. And he was then given 2 shots of penicillin. And some weeks later, we were back and we photographed that boy again, and he was totally cured. Now, about 10 years after that, the gentleman called Maurice Pate said, we're having a reunion in Japan, and we're having one Asian child from all the countries that UNICEF works in to meet in Japan. And I said, why don't we find little Sam from Thailand? And he said, do you know how many people were treated in Thailand? I said, no. There were 30 million cases of yours throughout Southeast Asia, and there might have been 7 or 8 million in Thailand. He said, how in the world do you think we're going to find him? And I said, I don't know. But I noticed people were writing down information, either names or ages or years or whatever. Let's see if we cannot find him. If we can't find him, then I can understand that. Well, don't you know that a couple of weeks later, he called and said, we found little Sam. And he was working on a farm up in the north of Thailand. And they brought him to Japan. And he was then about 17 or 18 years old, I guess. And he was tall and straight and healthy and dignified and handsome. And they said to him, do you know who this man is? Pointing to me, and he shook his head. Now, he didn't speak a word of English. I didn't speak any Thai. And they showed him a little picture of him sitting on my knee when he was being treated. And he looked at the picture, and he looked at me, and he looked at the picture, and looked at me, and he smiled. And it was as though a ray of sunshine had broken through a very dark cloud. And from that minute on, this young lad never left my side. And I took him everywhere with me. All the television stations, all the governmental offices, all the people who ran the government. And one afternoon we were having a press conference, and he was standing behind me. And I was telling the story about little Sam, about how we found him and how he was sitting on my lap, and he must have sensed that I was talking about him, because he put his hand on my shoulder. And it was the most eloquent gesture of love that I have ever encountered in my life. Now, somewhere in that boy's mind, and somewhere in hundreds of thousands of young people's minds, there will be the recognition and the realization that many people of many faiths, of many nationalities, of many colors, of many creeds, have banded together to make their lot in life more palatable. That is the greatest link, in my view, of how world peace can be forged. That, in my view, is how holding out a hand to somebody is the epitome of man's humanity to man, as opposed to the phrase we always hear of man's inhumanity to man. And all we have to do is turn that about. And all you have to do is look through my eyes at the hundreds of thousands of youngsters who were doomed to die. And by virtue of one shot of penicillin or one medical examination, you here tonight may be saving hundreds of young people's lives. Now turn this all around and sit with me in Thailand, where we're not at tables, we're on the floor. And we don't have lobster, we're eating maize or a corn dish. And I will tell you that your children will help make this world a happier one, a healthier one, and a more peaceful one. And look inside yourself and see that that is truly the great link to peace. There won't be any passports, there won't be any customs inspections eventually. Because all customs and all cultures, although they will remain honest to themselves, will recognize that there are other people in the world, and all you have to do is touch somebody's hand. And when you do, you will save a life. And when you go home tonight and you put your head on your pillow, and if you smile, it is very easily understood. You have saved some lives tonight. And for that, the UNICEF, and more than that, the children of the world, although they're not even aware of it, will be eternally grateful to you. And your children and those children hopefully will live in a happy and healthy and peaceful world. Thank you very much for coming.
Then it was time for Nova Scotia's Premier Buchanan to welcome Danny into the Order of the Good Time.
Here's the certificate we'll give you, with Samuel de Champlain's picture on it. The gentleman you were with tonight, the Honorable John E. Schaffner, our Lieutenant Governor, and you are, or will be, a member of the Order of the Good Time. You've got to answer 4 questions.
I didn't do it.
Okay, we ask you 4 questions, Danny Kaye.
Yes, sir.
And if you answer these questions, yes, I will induct you as a member of the Order of the Good Time.
Oh, God, I'm so nervous.
One of those. All right, first, while you've been in Nova Scotia, have you had a good time?
I have had one of the most remarkable times I have ever had in my entire life.
Hey,
in
hey.
Nova Scotia.
And when you return to Los Angeles, will you remember us pleasantly?
Not only will I remember all of you pleasantly, but I will go on television and radio and on the national media and explain that the only place anybody should ever go to on their holiday is Nova Scotia.
I've never...
How am I doing so far? Okay.
Isn't that great?
Continue with your interrogation, sir.
Okay, next. Will you speak of us kindly?
Not only will I speak of you kindly, but there will be an abundance of love and affection in every word that I utter in relationship to the people I have met in Nova Scotia and to the surrounding areas which breed beautiful fish and lovely hills and valleys in the God-given place where everybody is from there. Now, you realize, of course, that by doing this, I will spoil it all for you because you'll have too many visitors coming and they're going to louse up your whole lovely town.
Okay, an addendum to that last one is not even here. Will you mention me?
Not only will I mention you, I will bring you up to the American and Canadian Federation of Musicians to tell them if they ever need an offbeat premiere,
That's okay, do it. All right, last question. Will you come back again to Nova Scotia?
will you no come back again? Let me tell you one story. In 1949, I was playing in Glasgow, and they have a hotel called the Empire Hotel, which is right in the middle of the central station. And it was the last night that I performed at the Empire Theater. And I came back, and a lot of people gathered in the little square, and they screamed, "Gie us a sang, gie us a sang." Oh, hi, Danny, you're a wee bit. Gie us a sang. And I said, look, I have been singing for you all week long, and I would like to take a memory home with me that I will treasure all my life. And it was as though somebody had given these 10,000 people a downbeat, and they all sang, "Will you no come back again? Will you no come back again? Better lose you cannot be. Will